The newest craze amongst Gen Zers that has flooded the screens of generations alike has also taken the world by storm, with headlines concerning privacy and data that have led to back-and-forth conversations about its ban. TikTok has been an app covered in controversy. While many say that no good comes from social media, in the case of Alissa Turney, TikTok, fueled by a sister's love, helped solve a 19-year-old cold case, putting behind bars someone who was right under the nose of law enforcement the whole time.
I didn't really give you a hint, but the crime, it wasn't solved using this social media app, but the crime was made more aware by TikTok, which is actually TIKTOK.
Yes.
And I thought it was,
Like
TICK. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Until
I
I
thought so
started
too.
doing this story, I was like, what the fuck?
You're continuing to search for the wrong thing.
Did you watch?
I got listings of grandfather clocks and everything. I'm like, oh, this is probably not it.
I actually really enjoy TikTok.
Do you find that you're on TikTok more than other social media sites now?
No. Well, I stopped using it for a while because I thought that it was banned.
Do you know why they thought it was banned? Or why they tried to ban it?
Because from what I heard, I don't know how accurate this is, was that
It's 100% accurate.
Chinese companies were trying to steal people's information through purchases and things that they were making in-app.
TikTok is a Chinese product and used by Americans. They're not our enemy, but China does spy on its own people.
Right.
So if they make an app trying to spy on their own people, they're not going to change the app just for Americans. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the government tried to get it banned, and I don't think they were successful because you can't just ban something like that. The only thing that could happen is if they're not going to make enough money, because all these apps like Snapchat and everything, like they don't make enough money to cover the cost, like not by a long shot.
Without advertisements, you mean?
No, with advertisements. The server cost to run something like Snapchat or TikTok is phenomenal. Like phenomenal. Snapchat has never made a dime, and for when they IPO'd, I don't know the specifics, but they were losing millions and millions of dollars on a yearly basis, and they have no forecast to actually make money.
Other social media, and they make money through
Facebook, yeah. Facebook makes
And
a lot through
Instagram.
advertisements, yeah. But
Instagram was bought out by Facebook.
Right.
The algorithm is really interesting because you have your For You page. Do you know how it works?
I've never been
I
on
have
TikTok.
no idea how it works.
So this is the algorithm. There's two different pages of videos, essentially. There's the For You page, which is kind of random, like
Recommended videos?
recommended for you based on videos that you like or the people that you follow, and they suggest similar genres and similar people. And then you have the pages that you're following that you can see like the videos and the creators that you're following exclusively. So
Okay.
my TikTok right now, I'm getting a lot of food TikTok, which I really like to watch the recipes on there. It gives me kind of motivation to cook, except, I just don't. I'm like, oh, this will be good. I'll cook this. I can do this. And then I just don't. A lot of Hamilton right now, Broadway theater, comedy.
So do you spend more time on the recommended videos or what you specifically follow?
I spend more time on the For You page because I know kind of what I'm following, and I kind of like to see what
else is
they're
out
going to
there.
suggest. Yeah.
So if it was banned, would you feel like you were at a loss? Would you miss it a lot?
Why are you using it knowing that it is potentially just spyware? I mean, what is I don't understand. Everyone talks about privacy. I need more privacy. And yet everyone just whores themselves out on social media. And it's like, here's everything about me. It's like,
definitely a contradiction.
It's like privacy. Here's everything about me. Here's my dog. Here's my grandma. It's like, Jesus Lord.
Well, I think for me, it's more of a time killer. Like if I'm bored, it's for me is more captivating than scrolling through the Facebook feed. Because there are different things you can watch.
Yeah.
Rather than just seeing the same old political debates and people getting upset about stupid things.
Yeah, that is a common thing to see.
So
For sure.
Tonight's episode has some news that is a few weeks old, some new developments for this case. It's a missing persons case. And for full transparency, I do not do this very much, but Nicole helped me on the research for this episode, so she'll be chiming in with her research notes.
I'll do what I can.
Yep. And as I said last time, be sure to subscribe if you have not already, because I have a really special project that I'm working on, and it's going to be freaking phenomenal. But not only that, the whole month of October, I'm going to hint at what I'm doing by doing a certain types of episodes that are related to my big project that I'm doing.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
Curious how you're going to do this.
I know. So a lot of these cases I'm doing now, the missing persons and stuff like that, I'm just doing them now. So when October gets here, I can focus on, dismemberment and things of that nature, necrophilia.
like episodes, not you personally dismembering.
Okay,
or,
that's a good distinction. Thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, should I change my locks again or...
Yeah. Actually, necrophilia, the first instance that it showed up in text, it obviously didn't have that name. It had the name A Love for the Dead, which is very romantic.
Yeah, that's a real nice way of putting it. Probably overly nice.
It's I think we talked about this recently, that there are different kinds of love. So
that's definitely a special one.
Yes.
All right, so let's get started. This is the missing persons flyer for Alissa Turney. And if you want to describe her, Jen, for our audience.
So in this photo, she has long, dark hair. Well, not too dark, probably medium to dark brown hair. She has blue eyes, pretty girl, thin eyebrows, which looks like it was a 2000s thing. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
My sister had those
What
eyebrows.
do you mean thin eyebrow? What do you mean had those eyebrows?
It's the way that the thinner eyebrows were a trend in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right
and now they're thick eyebrows are in.
Not super thick, but like full.
I don't understand what you are. What do you mean? I had the same eyebrows
Well,
I've had
you
since
don't
I
have
was...
to worry about beauty standards
my
like we
sister
do.
just got her eyebrows microbladed.
Really?
What in the hell are y'all talking? Microbladed?
And I did not know what that was until
It's
she
when-
explained it. But it's basically like tattooing.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So that they just stay...
What?
Perfect.
I do want to say, guys don't care about eyebrows or fingernails or toenails.
No. We talked, you and
We
Dr.
care about breasts and butts.
Hang on, let me just say.
Neither of which I have thighs and a gut, not breasts and butts.
You do have those body
When guys
parts.
talk to each other, it's either are you a boob man or a butt man. It's not a, hey, are you an eyebrow man or a fingernail man?
I'm just going to say, you and Dr. Will the Pill discussed this in your teeth whitening episode, that you don't notice teeth unless they're bad. And I feel like it's similar with like eyebrows or other features where you're not going to notice eyebrows unless they're, over tweezed or it's a unibrow, could go either way.
Yeah, like really
thin.
Yeah.
And thin eyebrows.
Or having no eyebrows that are drawn on.
Yeah. So
Which I
there
feel
you
like
would
they're
notice it if
doing
there was a
more now.
unibrow and stuff like that.
But she does not have a unibrow. She's
No.
pretty.
She's great. But her eyebrows are indicative of
The time period.
Yes.
All right, this is Alissa Turney, and this is her missing alert flyer. Now, if this is your first episode, I need to say I put all my sources, my videos, my photos, my links, everything on talkmurder.com. So go there and follow along with us if you're not driving. So this is Alissa Turney. She goes missing May 17th, 2001. At the time, she was 17 years old. Her family and friends tell media that she was an excellent student. She actually worked at Jack in the Box, which there's a video of her working at Jack in the Box.
I have never been to a Jack in the Box.
Well, they're out in California.
No, there's one in Charlotte.
Is it really?
Yeah, because I used to. It's right by my the university. I went to the University of Phoenix.
Such an illustrious school.
Yeah, it's right by there. She also had a rebellious personality. Now let's talk about the family a little bit. It's kind of an unusual situation. The father, the stepfather, if you will, actually came out and said that the entire family is a blended family. So Alissa Turney's mother remarried when Alissa was 3 years old. Her stepfather, Michael, actually adopted her at that time. So when doing this story, you'll hear the stepfather refer to himself and the kids refer to him as dad and father. But that is because the household was made not to use the word stepfather or stepmother or anything.
They were just mom and dad.
Yeah, it was just mom and dad. So it is a little confusing. But her mother remarries when she was 3 years old to her stepfather, Michael. Okay? Her mother actually died of cancer before Alissa goes missing. And
when they were very young. Still very young.
And this family lives in Phoenix, Arizona.
Michael had 3 sons prior
this
to
is
the
like
marriage.
the Brady
Yes, the Brady
and
Bunch
they
situation.
Together they did have a daughter, Sarah.
Unlike the Brady Bunch.
Unlike the Brady Bunch,
Yeah.
correct.
So this document you're seeing right here is from William Anderson. He is the Phoenix Police Department missing persons detective. And this is the form he filled out. And it describes the family pretty good. So I'm just going to kind of read through so you can get an idea of how the family works.
As a background to this case, it should be noted that Michael Turney is not Alissa's biological father. Alissa was born on 4/3/84 to Stephen Strom and Barbara Farner. Shortly after Alissa's birth, Barbara left Stephen Strom and married Michael Turney. At the time, Barbara had 2 children, Alissa and an older brother, John. Michael Turney had 3 children from previous marriages: Rhett Turney, Michael Seth Turney, and James Turney. Michael adopted all of Barbara's children, and they had 1 child together, Sarah Turney. Stephen Strom maintained visitation with Alissa until she was 9 years old, when Michael and Barbara would no longer allow him to see her. Stephen moved out of state and no longer had contact with Alissa. Barbara Farner died of cancer in 1993, and Alissa was raised by her stepfather until her disappearance.
That's interesting where it said they wouldn't allow him to see her anymore. I wonder
if
what
he was
happened.
a suspect even.
I wonder what the dynamic was that, or what the reasoning behind them not allowing him to see her anymore. I wonder if it was that Michael was getting jealous, or if, maybe Strom figured that something was going on deviously between Michael and the children, or maybe he was just a shitty dad. I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, it's interesting that they didn't go into too much detail there.
So what you're looking at now is the billboard for Alissa Turney. Gone for 19 years. No answers, no justice. Justiceforalissa.com. Now, I want to say a lot of the websites devoted to Alissa and a popular podcast, which we'll get into in a second, was created by Alissa's younger sister, Sarah. She actually reignited the interest in this case by using TikTok.
Okay.
And if you guys don't know what TikTok is, it's like Snapchat, right? Yeah. It's like...
No, it's
like Vine, right?
Yes, it's the newer
like
version
little
of Vine.
videos and stuff.
You can either make a 15-second video up to, well, you can make as little as you want, but you have either 15-second videos or a minute videos.
Got it.
So anyway, this is the billboard, justiceforalissa.com. She goes missing her junior year. This is the last day of school before summer, May 17th, 2001. The last day of her junior year, she says bye to her boyfriend. He sees her stepfather picking her up, and that's the last time she was ever seen by anybody. All right, this is from the same forum that we read earlier, and you can find this at justiceforalissa.com. This talks about her last day and an interview with her boyfriend, John Lackman, at the time, and his last name is Laakman. And it states, John Lackman stated that he last saw Alissa on May 21st, 2001 at 12:30 hours when she stopped in his woodshop class at Paradise Valley High School and said she was being pulled out of school early by her stepfather. She said she would talk to him later. John never heard from or saw Alissa again. He does not believe that she would run away without telling him. They get in an argument, Alissa and the stepfather. I'm just going to call him Dad from now on. The real father, from what I saw, isn't really in the picture. So I'm going to call the stepfather, Michael, just her father, Dad, because that's what they prefer anyway. Alissa leaves home. They get in an argument, and I think it was something, this is going back to the ABC 2020 video. I believe it was something about staying out too late or something to that effect. Like,
yeah, she wanted to like go out and celebrate the last day of school, and the dad is very, very strict.
So this is after the mother has passed?
Yes.
Okay.
The mom passed, I don't know what age, but they passed when they were still kids. Because Sarah had said that Alissa was like the only mother she had, because her mom died when she was really young. Michael was a single father pretty quickly after they got married and after Sarah was born.
Okay.
This is where, in missing persons cases, you kind of question whether it's a runaway or not. And it's what they leave behind. So for Alissa, she actually leaves her hairbrush, which, whatever. Her cell phone was left behind, which I guess during that time was like a Razor, Motorola Razor.
I did not have one.
In 2001?
Yeah.
It was more like a Nokia.
Yeah, a flip.
Block.
Yeah.
Oh. So she left her hairbrush, her cell phone, $1,800 in her bank account, which is way more than you have right now, Jen.
It is, actually. It is.
It's way more than you have right now,
Screw
John.
You. I know, but screw you. And not only that, but there were no withdrawals. So she's going to walk away and run away because, as you'll see, she's a, quote, runaway from what the police say. And she's not going to make any withdrawals from her bank account? Yeah, all right.
Good for her, though, at 17 to have $1,800 in your bank account.
I know, right? What the freak?
She's making bank. I don't think I ever
And this is from Jack in the Box, man.
Well, I don't even know when the first time my bank account hit 1,000. I think it was after I graduated from college.
It's like when you were, 33 or something?
Well, that hasn't happened yet, so no.
Well, you're still working up to that sum. So, Jen, this right here is the note that her dad comes back to when after they have an argument. If you can read this.
Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided that I really am going to California. Sarah, you said you didn't want me around. Look, you got it. I'm gone. That's why I saved my money. Dad, I took $300 from you. Alissa.
You know what's interesting? So this is clearly not a faked note.
Well, how do you know that? I actually didn't see anywhere where they proved one way or the other if this was a fake note. And I'd like to know if that's true, because there's no way that's her handwriting.
It could
what are
be.
you talking about? No way that's her handwriting. That's a very teenage girl handwriting.
It's a teenage girl handwriting, but does that mean it's her handwriting?
Who else would it be?
I don't know.
Exactly.
The killer. But I'm saying,
interesting that she didn't capitalize any of her I's. Was she a good student?
Yeah, she was a good student.
So I feel like she would have capitalized her I's.
No, that's just the thing in 2001.
I think it's a time.
I still write all my stuff like that.
But I think the handwriting is very...
No, it's very feminine.
Yeah. This is how girls' handwriting
looks
frequently. Like it reminds me a lot of my sister's handwriting.
So the father, Michael Turney, is the one that initially files the missing person report, and he does that right away because, we need to find her. So he was very
because she's a minor.
Yeah, she's a minor. So he was very concerned, and he expressed that to the police, that his daughter needs to be found right away because he believed that she was actually in danger. And 17-year-old moving to California with $1,800, without any money, apparently. And she had said she saved her money, so she probably didn't even get there.
And it said, I took $300 from you, so apparently she had at least $300.
Exactly.
But that's not going to get you anything in LA, even back then.
Yeah.
Her sister is the one that calls her cell phone numerous times, but then they actually found the cell phone at her house. From what the family says, Alissa is not the person. She has too many commitments with her family. She wouldn't just do that and have them all worried about her. She would at least try to contact them. So her leaving her cell phone is a red flag right there. Michael, the stepfather, actually made at least 30, perhaps more, trips to California to locate his daughter. And this was after the first week. She had called him on a payphone in California, and he actually located the exact payphone used, but he actually got the phone company to trace that call, and he goes to California around that same area, and at least on 30 occasions, he tries to find his missing daughter. Now, after that one phone call, there was no more contact whatsoever. The family thought she would definitely have made contact, and that's when they came to the conclusion that Alissa is probably already dead. Mike, the father, actually told Alissa's two best friends to try to get in touch with her, to call her, to try to locate her, to see about her whereabouts, because Mike was really concerned about her safety. Now, he actually became his own detective because he claimed the police department, they weren't helpful at all. I mean, they didn't even issue an Amber Alert. She's 17. She's not technically an adult yet, right? There should have been an Amber Alert.
But they're saying she ran away voluntarily.
Exactly.
She wasn't abducted is what their reasoning was, right?
Yeah. And going back to that document we read earlier, it says, quote, Michael Turney is a former Maricopa County Sheriff's deputy. He worked for that department from 1970 through 1974. So he actually has the knowledge of how to find and track down a missing person, especially if that missing person is his daughter. I mean, the 70s and 80s, runaway to California, that was so frequent. We covered a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And serial killers actually had a field day with all the runaways to California. But in 2001, I mean...
people are a lot more cautious.
Exactly. I mean, you had Y2K. We just survived the super bug of Y2K, you know?
Oh,
It was before 9/11, though. When
Yeah, it was before 9/11.
Yeah.
Anyway, after this, the case goes cold. And let me reiterate, this was May 17th, 2001. All right, here is the father and the daughter right here. If you want to describe this photo for our audience.
It looks kind of forced.
You think so?
no one's got teeth showing, you know?
I don't really smile with my teeth either.
I think anyone who's genuinely smiling smiles with their teeth.
Yeah.
With their mouth open.
It does look like, and I'm putting this photo on talkmore.com, it kind of looks like she is kind of pulling away a little bit. But this is all hindsight, so... Anyway, this is the father, Michael. In 2006, a confession about the murder of Alissa comes to light.
Really?
And two detectives actually go down to Florida to interview this convict. And he not only picks Alissa out of a photo lineup, and it's the correct person, he goes into vivid and intense detail about the murder, how he killed her, how he sexually assaulted her, and stuff like this. So he confessed. The case is over. Some of the things he said didn't line up with Alissa's character. For starters, he said she was a heroin addict. And I mean, anyone
that's a pretty big detail.
Yeah, anyone that can save $1,800, I feel like they're not a heroin addict.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just
Unless she became one after she went missing.
exactly,
but...
yeah. And so her friends were like, wait, that's not her. Not only that, some of the sexual, because this guy apparently met her, this guy that was confessing, met her, and they would do heroin together. And then he explained the sexual acts that they would do consensually. Her actual boyfriend at the time said, no, that's not her. She wouldn't do this type of stuff. So he eventually kind of recanted his story. He didn't deny killing someone like Alissa, but he was like, it's probably not her. It's probably not the right girl. He was basically making it up.
He wanted to do it for fame.
Yeah, for fame. And plus he had already killed a lot. He was trying to go for the serial killer angle. He actually emailed the detectives, or not emailed them, but got him a note sent that it said something like, I'm about to make you real famous or something, because I'm a serial killer.
Oh my gosh.
I guess if I was spending life in prison, I'd try to, overplay my stuff too. Why not? Ain't nothing else to do. Shit. Now, this is 2008, so 7 years after she goes missing. At this point, Alyssa's friends start giving the police some details that they didn't have already. And now that I really think about it, if you watch the 2020 documentary, Alyssa's sister, Sarah, she's real adamant that the father has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
And that they're a happy family and all this stuff. I'm kind of starting to think that the reason the friends didn't come forward with this information is because of Sarah at first.
Because she was young?
She was younger, yeah. But the friends in 2008 started coming forward to the police and saying that there may have been some sexual abuse going on at the house.
Ooh.
Yeah. So now the father comes back into the picture.
That's interesting that if they figured there was, or they knew about sexual abuse happening at the house and they didn't say anything, maybe because of Sarah, that's a little concerning to me. Like, if you know that there is a sexual predator living, raising these kids, wouldn't you want to get her out of that situation?
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's the reason, but in my mind...
Well, even if it wasn't the reason.
Yeah.
They could have said something to protect Sarah, yeah.
I'm just saying that when we watched the documentary on this, it really seemed that Sarah at the time believed her father, her stepfather, in everything he said. And if I was
her actual father, though.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. Yeah, her actual father. Yeah, good point. So if I'm friends with Sarah and she is just, my father didn't do this, he's the one trying to find her, I don't know if I would go to the police and say, yeah, I think he's sexually abusing her. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, I can kind of see why it took 7 years for them to come forward to the police. Because Michael was initially a suspect, okay, even though he's the one that filed the missing persons report, which doesn't matter,
But he was the last person to be publicly seen
Exactly.
with her.
So in 2008, the Phoenix police, they conducted 200 interviews. And from the paper that I got this from, it said 200 and not about 200. So I think it's right at the 200 mark. 200 interviews with people that knew her, friends and everything from high school. They started to put the picture together that maybe Alissa is not a runaway. And that's when the friends started coming forth with the sexual abuse accusations between her and the stepfather, Michael. Now, what they learned about Michael at this point, and this is after they conducted a search warrant in his home, is actually pretty disturbing. He was, for years, every day, for years before she went missing, and even to the present day, he would film the entire family, all the kids.
There was a camera in the living room.
There were secret cameras all around the house and outside the house. He was constantly monitoring the kids. Alissa would have a boyfriend over. They would be kissing on the couch. There's video of that. And he would watch it.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. He would actually record Alissa at her job at Jack in the Box. And if you go to talkmore.com, I'm embedding this TikTok compilation video from Sarah Turney, the sister. she is the one that kind of reignited the interest in the case, and she started with TikToks, and she actually put all this together. So
I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did he somehow get access to Jack in the Box's camera system?
No. That's a really good question. But just watch this, and that'll answer that question for you.
Also, I feel like if he was filming the whole household, the argument can be made is to make him seem less suspicious that it was for security purposes.
That is what he says. He was like kind of a paranoid guy, and obsessed with security. And
he's a conspiracy nut.
But the fact that he would watch the videos, like especially of her with her boyfriend, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Real weird.
So this is the TikTok video right here.
Stop back.
So this is her.
Do you hear her? You're scaring me, go away? Is that what she said?
Yeah, she said, "You're scaring me, go away." This is in a hotel, I believe. At a pool. From March 20th, 2000. The caption here says, "After my sister Alissa Turney went missing, our father would not cooperate with the police. There was at least one hidden camera in our home, though many of her friends say there were more." Now he is filming his stepdaughter, Alissa, at her job at Jack in the Box right now, and he is in his own car. This is December 19th, 2000. He's zooming in to Alissa, and it's just got a real creepy feel. Like, why would you sit in here and do that? And she actually spots him filming, and you can see her kind of waving him off. It's just very creepy.
It's bizarre.
It's very bizarre, and it's scary. To me, I'd be freaked out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, look what he's just very erratic with the camera. Now, this is from Sarah Turney's TikTok video.
She won't come outside.
I wonder, so it's 10:05 p.m. I wonder if her shift is over and she's afraid to
go out
come
there.
out.
The caption here says, "At least one person reported that Alissa was afraid for her life before she went missing. And Michael, the stepfather, asked the police multiple times if they would come arrest her for being a bitch." What the fuck? This is your 17-year-old stepdaughter. "Receipts indicate that our father purchased 50 pounds of lime and 60 pounds of concrete before she went missing."
What?
And the TikToks that you're seeing there is, that was her campaign to ignite, to get this reignited the interest.
So she found the footage from those cameras and just posted it on the TikTok.
Well, yes and no. So that's a good question. On December 11th, 2008, after all these interviews and accusations came up, police actually get a search warrant to search Michael Turney's home. Now, what you're looking at now is a newspaper clipping from Valley and State. This is from 2 days after the search took place. And as you see right there, what's that guy's shirt say?
FBI bomb tech.
FBI bomb tech. Police bombs built to level Union Hall. So remember, we said this guy is a conspiracy nut. Mm-hmm. So they found a lot of explosives in the home. They found the VHS tapes, some of those that you just seen.
Hundreds of them
from every day except one day, which was the day she went missing. It's kind of funny how that works. There were backyard digs. Nothing was found. They brought in cadaver dogs, never spotted the body, but they did find dozens of IEDs, which is improvised explosive devices, homemade pipe bombs, right? In the home, enough, quote, to destroy part of the neighborhood, and enough explosives to blow the entire roof off of his home. Now, he admitted to the police, and he pleaded guilty for this, that he stockpiled all this ammunition and explosives, especially the pipe bombs, to blow up a local workers union. because he had a disagreement with this in the past. He's an electrician, so he would know how to do this. And he had a disagreement with the local workers union, and he claims they're the ones that abducted Alissa in the first place and killed her and buried her because they had this disagreement and they were trying to get back at Michael. That's what he tells police.
Little outlandish.
He was also planning to commit suicide in the process, suicide bomb himself, blow up the entire union. And they actually did this search warrant a week before the next union meeting.
They got it just in time.
They got it just in time.
But this is years after the incident.
Yeah, this is
2008. This is in 2008, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is December 11th, 2008, the search warrant.
And even at this time, Sarah is still supportive of her dad. She is saying, like, free Michael Turney and all this stuff. So I think it's, as police start going through these tapes and afterwards is when she realizes something's wrong with Michael.
Okay.
Yeah. So a little bit from this article, it says, investigators in recent months developed new probable cause to obtain search warrants in the Alissa Turney investigation. One search warrant was served at Turney's house on 34th Street, the other at a house directly across the street that is owned by a Scottsdale-based development group. And they found the incendiary devices. They interviewed neighbors, and all the neighbors said he was a, quote, crazy neighbor who they avoided because of the uncomfortable conversations that would ensue when they talked to him about government plots and all this stuff, right? He actually refused a polygraph test. He did plead guilty to unlawful possession of unregistered destructive devices and was sentenced to serve maximum 10 years in federal prison, but he was released in 2017. And that's when Sarah, the actual daughter of Michael Turney, really got into gear and was like, okay, websites, podcasts, YouTube videos, TikToks, whatever. We need to get this guy, my father, off the street. If you want to read this, this is from the Arizona Republic, December 17th, 2008.
Neighbors described Michael Roy Turney as the crazy neighbor they tended to avoid for fear of being lured into uncomfortable curbside conversations. To them, Turney often sounded like something out of the X-Files, frequently bending their ears to spread his gospel of government conspiracy theories. Some neighbors thought he was paranoid. They refused to lend him much credibility when he boasted about his time in the U.S. military or his brief stint with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Police believe that the 60-year-old was more than just an aging electrician. He told neighbors he felt the government was watching him.
This is from the report that the detective filed. Michael Turney has exhibited an apparent obsession with his stepdaughter, Alissa. He admitted to conducting surveillance on her at work, using binoculars to spy on her. He would often drive her to school and then pick her up. He would surreptitiously record Alissa via audio and video recording. Various family members have stated that Michael treated Alissa differently from the other children and gave her inordinate attention. Michael Turney has told investigators that he suffers from a, quote, mental condition and has been seeing a psychiatrist for the past decade.
Wow.
All right, so this is from the Arizona Republic, August 21st, 2020. So like 4 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. And so this is very recent development. And this is the headline, if you want to read this, Nicole.
Stepdad faces murder charge in PV cold case.
Ooh.
PV is Paradise Valley. So now the stepfather of Alissa, Michael Turney, was arrested, and Sarah has been doing the TikToks and everything else, and now is saying that my dad did do this and he needs to be brought to justice.
Well, she's saying that for a number of years.
Yes,
after,
number of years, yeah.
Some of these reports come out from the detectives.
But it was her and her viral marketing, if you will, that kind of propelled this to get to where it is right now,
Which is an arrest.
An
Yeah.
arrest. No, he hasn't been convicted of anything. He was arrested on second-degree murder, so they must have some pretty damning evidence to arrest him. They have to. They can't. You can't just arrest someone if you don't have anything.
Well, I wonder if it's related to the surveillance and things like that. The hard thing about this case is that, like, I don't think that note was faked. So I'm kind of thinking she initially did run away to California, and he tracked her down and got pissed and killed her.
See, I don't know.
I am more under the impression that she wrote that note under duress.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that he made her write that note. Because I don't think she made it to California. She didn't have any money. I mean, she had a bank account, $1,800. Like, if you're going to move to California, at least take that money out.
So you don't think the payphone call was real?
No, I think that was fake. I mean, this guy is an electrician and a conspiracy junkie. He knows how to fake that, And the police actually never, from what I saw, investigated thoroughly that the call was accurate, that it really came from a payphone. He could have somehow did it. I don't know.
I think also, too, just going back to the note, just the way that it was written, it was very, I'm doing this. This is, it was very, and going back to a point that I made previously about whether or not she was a good student. I know that I asked more so about her handwriting, but just the structure of sentences, it was very choppy. The way that she ended, also, I stole $300 from you, which makes me think that maybe he did something that totaled the amount of $300 that he could be, well, she stole this $300 from me, to take it away. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to make a map.
Yeah. No, I'm following you. I think, yeah. I like your theories more now that you say it. That's a good point, though, that he maybe forced her to write the note. Because I was like, well, how would she, write
All right,
that?
this is
Otherwise,
actually,
it makes more sense.
This is from Justice for Alissa right here.
In an interview with Sarah Turney, she stated that most of her sister's clothing and jewelry were left behind on the day she disappeared. She noticed the contents of her backpack had been dumped on the floor, and that backpack was missing. Sarah found the note that purportedly was left behind by Alissa and has questioned its authenticity. In particular, she stated that Alissa did not sign her name in the way that it appeared on the note. Other family members have also questioned the note.
If you want to read this is from Sarah right here. This is a tweet. Oh, sorry. This is a tweet.
I'm shaking and crying. We did it, guys. He's been arrested. OMG, thank you. # justice for Alissa. Never give up hope that you can get justice. It took almost 20 years, but we did it.
All right, so that's basically the case from where it is right now. And this is a case that is currently in process. So I can't wait to see how this plays out.
I wonder if they'll be able to get a conviction.
I really hope they do.
Yeah.
The evidence.
Or at least get some answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did want to cover this case, at least do an overview of it for you guys that are interested in diving a little deeper into this case. You should listen to Sarah's podcast, the sister and the biological daughter of Michael Turney. You can find that information at justiceforalissa.com. And her podcast is called Voices for Justice, and I can link those in the show notes of this, and I'll also put them on the website, talkmurder.com. Be sure to go there, leave me a comment, and tell me what you guys think about this episode, and you can request some more episodes if you want. But that's all we have for that case. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Got some really good episodes coming up, a lot of gruesome October episodes coming up, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. My name is John. I'm sitting here with Jen and Nicole, and until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.